the 18-year-old loving baby, the 13-year-old loving baby, the 15-year-old loving baby, and then the next day with an next baby. They only 15, 16, and loving 2 children. Now. I understand back in the days our parents was young too, when they was loving children. But our parents and our forefathers were different from these generational wipers now. Some of these generational wipers, some of them, they don't care. They don't care if the child eats. Some of them are born in the nightclub. They won't go dancing. They won't wear the shadiest pair of clothes. They won't wear tighter clothes. They won't show how they shape in the dark. They won't go in the club. And leave the little shorty knows the children who are hungry, crying. Sometimes the children got to run by the neighbor. They get a little can of soup. Sometimes the neighbors run them. Okay? We have a lot of bad culture when we pick up in the 24 of the hour. Let me tell you something. Years ago now, when we used to build our homes, to live in nothing. Granny had what? She cooked the food. Annie had what? She do something. Uncle and nephew and cousin them get the nail and the hammer, get the blocks and get everything. Next 7 months, 8 months, we got it at home. But nowadays, we got to go to the mine. Nowadays, you can't even the parent off and nephew, but everybody looking for something.
So let me ask you this, caller. Right, no mean to cut you off, but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. You have voiced all the issues and all the problems. What do you suggest? I'm not talking about what do you suggest the government do. What do you suggest we as brothers and sisters do in order to get back?
I think the love. See what happened too, right? A lot of stay away from Jesus. That's the first thing. When we were small and we passed to the church, be quiet, be scared, be nervous passed to the church in the graveyard. Nowadays, we couldn't by the footwork. We drinking liquor by the church. We drinking liquor and carrying on by and busting gunshots in the footwork to the graveyard. The generation has changed. This is the generation of wiper. When you see a daughter will fight, come with me. When you see a son will fight, his daddy, he had happened years ago. But these said blatant, these said realistic of factor, these said realistic of guns. The generation changed, sweetie. You read the newspaper. You are now on the top shows.
Yes.
You should know. Every couple of days, we have a murder in this country. Called the Bahamas, and it's sad. When you were young, I'm 44. When we have a murder,
that was like who?
We talk about it for months and weeks and days.
Yes.
When we have a murder now, we talk about for half an hour a day. What do you reckon? Believe someone in news, we listen. We don't even check for the people on the side of the road who beg and hungry and look nasty. The good Samaritan don't pass no more.
No.
They don't pick them up no more. They don't even say, yeah, she a dollar. They don't even say she was carrying a soup here. But I know one thing, the generation has changed. How old are you? I'm 44.
I'm not gonna say what my age is on the air, but I'm old enough.
I born January 1972.
A happy birthday coming up.
I'm gonna reach 75, God is taking my glory land.
No.
And I can tell you that the generation now changed a lot. One time ago when you was school, you go to school. You gotta go to school all week. And you ain't get no lunch. Everyone's chipping at you. Nowadays, some of the children tell me in the class, nobody want to offer them nothing. And they can't be waiting. And then what happened too, we got some waiting fathers out there. We got some waiting mummies out there. Some of them on drugs. Some of them on alcohol. Some of them produce good children. Some of them produce murderers. That's how the children are in there.
So let me ask you this. Like I said before, you and I love your passion, and I love the fact that you are concerned to the point whereas it infuriates you as to how we are living. We are not being our brothers keepers. It seems as if we are sparing the rod. We're not cutting hip anymore. So here's what I want to know. Now that we know what all the major issues are, do you feel, one, it could be changed, And two, what do we do? How do we fix this?
Number one. It's hard to change your old dog. Don't disrespect. Okay? It's hard to change your old dog. You can't teach your old dog new tricks. Now, it must start in the home. It must start from mommy. It must start from daddy. Courtesy start at home. My late father, George Jeffrey Barnes, to teach me that. Now, first, I think I rule, but not just the passion in me because I know these friends and I ain't scared. If I have something to tell Mr. Christie, I can tell him this thing. If I have something to tell you with Ingram, I can tell him this thing. If I have something to tell Dr. Bennett, I can tell him this thing. That's why I tell these people in the air, put them in the people like that, play further, who calling me. Before, sometimes they say become a poor fool, but they got to remember they are the servants of the human people. This is not the days of the London where people used to be scared and talk. This generation too. I even in the generation, but I know how far to go. But I'm a forward person. It's not going to matter about it. It's not even better. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And that's the problem in the country. We don't stand up. We do possible here. We don't have kind of foolishness happen in the country. And we don't say nothing. We just shut up and, everything cool. And then nowadays we got parents. Parents scared of their children. Scared to ask their children, what is this in the home? You see some dope, they scared. You see a gun, they scared. But when to believe some of the violence they did and put them on the radio and put them on TV, they're violent. That's why I tell parents, don't play children. I only child 23. And that's 121. 116. 111 or 18. And I can tell you this, I don't play with children. If my children is big as they is, if they disrespect, I don't play with them. So parents today need to start closing foolishness. Because if I see my son with a gun, he is trouble. Okay? He can't bring no gun around me. He can't bring no fucking guys around me. He can't let me find out that he's doing nonsense. And I will be scared of my son, who I go from Bamba to got to be joking. That's what the problem is today. The parents are scared of the children. The parents, the young girls, they get in the club. Naked like what I tell you. And even the 13-year-old girl out there. And they all rich. So what they can do? The sweetheart can take advantage of them. Or when they tell the parents, she can shut up because what are you talking about? That's the kind of society we have in this country called Harvard. You keep up the good work and God continue to bless you. Don't respect.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Thank you. There you have it. There you have it. We have so much passionate Bahamians out there. And some of them we agree with, some of them we don't agree with. But that's what makes a diversified society. When we have persons with different views and different passions, we have to be reminded that we have one common ground, and that is we want a better Bahamas. That's what we're looking for. Last night we talked about, and it's so amazing that the caller touched on it tonight, just now, in terms of we have an issue where we have young women that are under the age of 17 that are having babies. And my show, we had the crisis center on last night, we had the police force on, and I want to appeal to the public once again. If you find yourself in an abusive situation, if you find yourself whereas you are being taken advantage of, or your parent is not doing what they need to do, or the parent is afraid because the parent is also a victim, we have agencies put in place that will help you, that will keep your information confidential, and they will assist you. So I thank that last caller for calling in with so much passion and what he believes in. And we sometimes have to listen to each other and hear what each other is trying to say. We have another caller. Let's take the next caller. Good night. Welcome to the Dead Late Night Show.
The amen wants us to have godly days. Listen to Bannister. Of course, my name is Raymond Darling. What's your name again?
Lana Epstein, sir.
Lana?
Epstein.
Epstein?
Epstein?
Anyhow, I'll get your name.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I've listened to Bannister, and he is so right. But one of the things, some of the things happening in this country cause things to be the way we are. The country is too slack. so slack, not too, so many slackness are happening in this country. And those that are in authority, like those that are in the house of assembly, they're not doing their job. And I'm telling you what I'm speaking from experience because I've spoken to a lot of them. I told them of situations and stuff like that. They haven't done anything about it. And the next part is a lot of people in this country, they doesn't fear God. Because when you look at the fifth commandment, it says honor thy father and thy mother. And let me show you something. I teach children, right? And I show them in children, the Ten Commandments for that matter. And a lot of children, I have these are 60 something to 70 children to deal with every Saturday. And none of them doesn't know that. They doesn't know the commandment. Their parents doesn't know the commandment. Not dissing them or anything like that, because we're there to try to help the Bahamas. But I'm only showing you one of the problems, right? And then the other thing, there's too much greed in the country today. You know, you might grow up with people, you all might have been the best of friends, loving friends, but there is no love anymore. It's only about what I can get for me. Most people today in this our little country called the Bahamas. And parents just speak of children, you know, disrespecting the parents, like leaving them, putting them in old folks' home and stuff like that. You know, that touched me because the thing is, when those people die, the first thing is they have the ones that put them there, if they have any siblings, say they fight over their parents left. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yet they don't have the decency to keep them within, their means all checked for them at those places in which they put them in. And that is so wrong, And let me show you something else. The next thing again, you speak of children, parents afraid of their children. You know, uh, some parents afraid of children for what they can't do or would do to them. You see? Because our parents can get in such a rage to, make them to know that they are there, and God, and hate them and harm them and make them kill them. You see what I'm saying? So for that reason, some parents just, stay in distance or don't want to be bothered or don't bother. And that's our problem. And nobody, uh, I would say nobody are trying to fix the situation, but much people are trying to fix the situation. It's all about greed, what I can get for me, and that's our problem in this country. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, caller. But before you leave, I have a question for you, because you made mention to a number of points, and one of the points that you keep it seems like you're coming back to is the fact that it sounds as if we we are known to be a Christian nation, but are we still a Christian nation? Are we living like we are the Christian nation that we were known to be 20, 30, 40 years ago? What's going on? Because you talk about children not knowing the Ten Commandments. I mean, most of us grew up in church. You go to choir practice, you go to Bible study, you go to youth meeting, then you go to church. Have we become lazy, whereas we just only call on God when we in trouble, like real big trouble? What do you think is happening? Do you think we still considered a Christian nation?
No, most people today, they doesn't fear God. I remember I grew up in church. One of our house, when I born on Auckland, our house was the church. But what I want to say is this. Right here in Nassau, when we used to travel as boys and friends, we could be carrying on as we were just children, okay? We could be carrying on, and when we reach for the church, whatever we say, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we're going to cease that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, today, people would, use profane language in the church. I mean, I've never heard of use profane language.
In the church? You mean like in the church?
Say it again?
You're saying that you've heard persons cursing inside of a church?
Put it like this. Some words I've heard people in the church use. I never grew up in the church. I figured that when I was growing up in the church, that would have been a no-no. You see? And when you can do things yourself, I don't think you cut the right example. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of our problems. What I did 50-something, 60 years ago. It's different today. Big time. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's different. Like the scripture says, you speak about the form of godliness, but denying the power.
Mm.
People speak it,
Mm-hmm.
they go to church,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to the real action,
Living it.
anything happening.
Living it. And you also talk about the fact that children, parents being afraid of their children. That's almost surreal to me, because even if the person isn't your parent, even growing up in the Bahamas, when you went to school, your teacher, if that teacher see you doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, you're in trouble. You can get whooped. The principal will whip you. Then the parent will get called and you get another whooping. So what's changed? How can it be that we're living in a society today in the Bahamas where a parent is afraid of a child? That was unheard of. You could be 25 and your parent, you say something wrong and you get backhanded or something thrown and you have to duck or something. What's going on? Or what can we do as a society to come together and take back our nation in terms of with Christianity, showing our children that you're not going to overrun us, you're going to learn respect, or we're going to the whole street, every adult on the street is going to come with the belt and give it to you. What are some of the things we need to do to change this for the betterment?
Well, see, the thing is, the type of nation we have today, uh, like I say, I disagree. Not much people fear God. You see what I'm saying? And the people would really fear God and want to, or try to do the right thing. Their advantage are being taken. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not from the lowest to the highest. You know what are doing and saying immaturities. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's greed crept in. People don't believe in sharing. Some people believe in it, but the majority of people today are just all over the place. Like I said, small and big, in high places. Scripture speak of wickedness in high places.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those people in high places, they're looking out for them and their family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're thinking about the small person. No, they're not. They're not. You know what I'm saying? They may think of them, but they're not going to help. They ain't trying to help them. That's why we have so many sick people in this country today. You know what I'm saying? People are filled with apathy. They're unconcerned. You know what I'm saying? You go to the hospital, they doesn't care like they should or like they used to. Just a lady just died recently around here. I'm living on French Street on Mason Sedition. This lady was living on Highgate Street, Bethania Beach. I know her for my one child, and I respected her for my one child. And she died, I think it was yesterday, 101.
Wow.
Okay? And when she used to be going to church in the hot sun to the 12 noon service and stuff like that, and I used to say to myself, why is Miss Reach walking in this sun? But she loved the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and the way she died, of her, I don't think she should have died that way. Somebody, because everybody knew her, right? Most people knew her. I said to myself, knowing that she got weak, right? I would have put what you would call things in her place for what they had for handicapped people. Was in order for us to hold on,
Right.
get to the restroom and get around and stuff like that.
Yes.
I would have done that. That's what I said to myself.
Right.
I can't so much remember her. I mean, the way she fell, got hurt, eventually caused her death. I don't think it should have been because old people are son. If you have them in the restroom, you should stay in the restroom door, to make sure that she wants to come out. That you are there to live for stuff like that because you're living in with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to just let her try to get up and fell and break her bones and have to get operation at that age.
Right.
101.
Wow.
It shows people that thoughts are weird.
Right.
See my point?
Yeah.
The thoughts are weird, man. People got to get more concerned for their brother man, their fellow man in this country, and that's what's not happening.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you calling in tonight. And I appreciate everything you have to say. And I want you to call us some more and tune in because, our mission is to educate, to motivate, and we want to be our brother's keeper. So thank you so much for calling, sir.
You should.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Well, God rest Miss Reach's soul. She's 101, as that last caller stated. And it is sad. It is very, very sad. My grandmother is 93 years old, and I cannot even imagine her not being taken care of properly and someone leaving her behind or not giving her all the things that she is needed. So I'm making an appeal to my fellow Bahamians. We have to remember to be our brothers' keepers. It's not about he who feels it knows it. We have to leave that. We have to flush that somewhere. That conception needs to go back from wherever it came from. We have to stop adopting other nations' beliefs in I'm going to mind my own business because no, your neighbor's business is your business. Because if something happens to your neighbor and your neighbor is in danger, you're in danger. It just happened that it happened to your neighbor. You just don't know when it's going to be you next. So it's important, brothers and sisters out there, to be your brother's keeper, and let's take care of the old man. We cannot forget our elderly. It is so, so important. So young people, if you see an older person out there that needs help walking across the street, take a moment of your time and do it. Or stop the car and be patient enough to allow that person to walk across the street. Hold the door open for that person. If you're in a room and you're sitting down and there's no more seats and an older person is in there, get up. We have to remember to be our brother's keeper. So we're going to take a break and we will be right back. We have any more audio?
I got some more for you.
Fantastic. So I'm going to do my commercial and I'm going to do and then we'll go back to that, okay?
All right.
Let me know when I can do my commercial.
All right. Now this is the same guy who called you second.
Okay.
Yeah. For more than 20 years we've had private radio in this country. There is one voice every radio station.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Call it what you like. Radio jockey, chronic caller. We know him as Master. And now, from the phone to the mic, Madison brings his freewheeling opinion as the host of his own radio show, Madison Live. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. here on CSR 103.5 FM. This has got to be interesting. Madison Live. Listen every Thursday, 3 p.m.
Yeah, I'm starting
right
to
here
see.
on CSR 103.5
How big
FM.
mode now? Yeah. Yeah.
Sound good. Yeah. I liked him. I liked all the callers. They were all. I liked them. I like their passion. That's what it's about. You know? Well, that's fine. As long as they have something decent to say, I'm fine.
Hey, the idea of this is to keep people entertained.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, some people think this is legislation. They need to follow the government.
No, this is not. Huh? No. No, no text. And my thing on. So. Oh, she called me instead of text me. She can't call. She called. Yeah.
I told her number is 698. Like us on Facebook.com/Rachel's Online Boutique. I told us your text number. So you're going to read yours, right?
Yeah.
What?
This segment of the show has been brought to you by the following sponsors. Beauty Zone. Find your favorite hair products, costume jewelry, and much more at 30% off now. Located on East Street South, Beauty Zone, where all your beauty needs are made available. And by Executive Printers of the Bahamas Limited, they offer a wide range of printing products in a variety of sizes. Call them today at 393-5011 or visit them at number 53 Jerome Avenue. Executive Printers of the Bahamas Limited, been in business since 1970. And by C&C Locksmithing and Hardware Store. Don't miss out on their Christmas specials. Call today at 393-4058 or visit their store at number 51 Mackey Street. C&C Locksmithing and Hardware Store. Go and visit my sponsors, people. These are great businesses, and I thank you.
Huh?
Trying to boost them.
Oh yeah. Ready to go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Dead Late Night Show. I am your host, Lana Epstein. I am having, tonight is just a very revealing night. We have many passionate persons that are calling in. We also have pre-recordings from persons that went out to the Black Friday March. You know, I get really excited when I hear my fellow brothers and sisters become excited and very passionate about their beliefs and what changes they want to see. So, I want to adhere to you to call in to the show. It's 698-7753, or you could WhatsApp us if you don't want your voice to be known over the radio. It's 438-0025. We welcome you to come in and basically call in and voice your opinion. We have a text message that seems that it's coming from, and this person is saying that they heard just yesterday that there was no fine for parking in spots for persons with disability. Shame on the government. Wow. And we had a caller a few callers ago that said that persons are parking where disabled persons, you have the sign or you see the painting on the ground. What's going on? Why isn't there fines? Is something missing, or are there fines and we just don't know about? So we're going to get answers because that's what this is about. The problem is, people, if you see a disabled sign, do not park there. There is someone that could be blind or can't walk, and they just need to get as close to the door as possible. Or you have some bathrooms that don't have that's not disabled ready. That too, I've seen it for myself in some business places. This texter is saying that the government is not serious. The legislation passed in 2014 and it has no teeth. What does that mean? Is it not strong enough? Do we have legislations put in place to protect our disabled persons, and they're not strong enough? What's going on? So these are the questions that our brothers and sisters are asking. And so now we need to look for the solutions. What needs to happen? Do we need to go back into looking at the laws and the legislations that are out there and make the necessary changes to make sure that we're protecting our disabled brothers and sisters? What do you think out there? You call in and you let me know. Do we have a caller?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna go back to our audio, and I want you to listen to some more opinions of people and their passion as to what they feel needs to be changed and how they feel about who they are and where they are. Listen in.
Wow.
The mother after that?
Huh?
You have the lady after that?
I guess.
The one with the national anthem?
No, I don't have that one. I have 3. Okay, you know, we took this from that little recorder, right?
Right.
Now the next 3 I have
It's from the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, Betty was double that one in the back here. Roddy was leaking through.
Okay.
You can hear Roddy leaking a little bit on the
Oh yeah?
on the
Okay,
back
no
of the
problem.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. That's the lady.
That's the guy you're
Yeah.
talking about? So make the apology when you come back from Roddy for me, yeah?
Oh, I hear him.
Yeah. That's when we were talking to take tonight. He leaked through on it.
there you have it. A mother out there who brought her 3 sons. You heard the boys. They want freedom. They were kind of timid to talk, but they did. And you heard her appeals. She felt like, I want my kids to go off to college and don't come back. That was her first feelings. And then she voiced that she, thought about it. No, I want my children not to live in a foreign country, but to come home and contribute to society and have something here. So she went out there Black Friday to fight not only for her rights, but for the rights of her children. And she took her children with her. She took those boys. They looked no more than 11, 12 years old. And they were standing out there in the hot sun. And as their mother talked with passion, and some of you might have heard the national anthem being sung in the background. These were such passionate individuals that were out there talking about having to know someone in order to get a job, not based on their credentials, not based on the hard work and the hard studies that they've done. They talked about crime and not feeling safe and not being listened to because it wasn't serious enough. She felt violated. Even though it might have appeared to be a very minute type attack, she felt violated and something needed to be done and not ignored and just scribbled down, as she said, and she's saying she's tired. She's tired. So we as Bahamians, what do we do? What do we do? Who is to blame? Isn't us? Why don't we find the solution and work together as a community? Because that's what we're here for. We put people in charge to play the roles, but it's up to us as a society, and charity begins at home. It starts in our houses. So we got to make a change. We have another caller. Let's take this call. Good night, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good night. I'm calling about the parking for disabled.
Yes.
I agree with the caller. It seems like everybody's parking in disabled spots, and when the disabled come, there is no parking. And the thing is, you have police stations around these malls and security officers, and it seems as if they're doing nothing about it. I think they need to be more vigilant and ensure that disabled spots are maintained for disabled persons. And then I have another issue, talking about the elderly in the banks. I think, like on Saturday, some banks are open, but they do not have the seniors line. So you go in that line and you have to stand up forever. And so it's no use going on the weekend if you're a senior and you can't stand up because they do not have the senior lines. I think they need to reinstate the senior lines. I'm saying people come in your lines and they have so much banking to do. You wait a very long time. We really have to look at customer service in this country if we want to be a better country, because we can't serve tourists unless we can serve ourselves. We must do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. So there you have it. We have another caller that's saying, hey, people are violating the disabled parking signs right in front of security and the law. So if they are not adhering to the law in front of those persons that have the authority to reprimand, what is going on? Why are we losing? It sounds as if we are a disrespectful society. And charity begins at home. It starts with me. I have to rethink when I'm out there on the road. I have to take a step back and rethink how I react to my fellow brothers and sisters. I have to make sure that when I am doing something that I'm not being disrespectful, because I can't preach it and don't live it. So persons out there, I'm going to make an appeal again. When you see a disabled parking spot, I know you might be in a rush. I know you might say, oh, I'm only going to be in there 2 minutes. Why is it that when we travel to another country, we would adhere? We travel to other people's countries and we stand in lines and we don't say a word. We don't say a peep Okay? Or we drive on their streets, we put our seatbelts on, we check our rearview mirrors, we park in the designated spots, and we dare not do anything wrong. Charity begins at home. If we can act in an orderly manner when we are outside of where we live, then we must be able to do it where we live. So let's respect the disabled spots. And then the caller called in and they spoke about Saturday banking, and we thank the financial institutions for opening up their branches on the weekends to accommodate those individuals that that are working 13, 14 hours and or just don't have the time to get into the bank. So we applaud you for that. But we want to remind you and make an appeal to you. Please don't forget our older persons for the citizens line, because I've seen people in the bank that older individuals that have to sit down, even though they're at the front of the line, they have to kind of sit down for a minute in order to wait for the teller because they don't have the strength. And weekend sounds like a really a better time for family members to take their mother or grandmother to the bank. So we want to make an appeal to the local bankers, to please if you can, spare another teller for the elderly line. We have another caller. Good night, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good night, how are you?
I'm well, ma'am.
I am calling about the disabled. But before we can respect the disabled context first, we need to learn to respect the disabled first. Society does not respect the disabled. They will see you and you're trying to get over there and they'll come and rush you, or be in the food store trying to push you aside. We need to respect our own before we can respect others, and that's the problem with this society. They do not respect the disabled.
I am so saddened to hear this, ma'am. I apologize for those that have not respected you in the past and that have not treated you in a respectful manner in terms of trying to get you out of the way. Because we have to understand that it was not in your control. Your situation was not something that you could control. And so therefore you had to learn how to coexist in a normal society, which I'm sure is a challenge. I'm not disabled, so I don't know, but I can only imagine, because I'm a normal person, and some of the normal things that I have to do is a challenge for me. So judge someone that can't see or can't hear or can't walk or is not mobile.
But you have to understand, you wasn't always like this. So like you say, your disability slows you down, and you have to try and fit in with society. But society is not trying to help you to fit in. And there's a lot of places you go, people will try to override you on your disability, taking up the whole aisle in the food store or something. My God, if they see you something and you're moving slow, something must be wrong. But they just cuss you until they get on the side. So society needs to respect the disabled, because disabled people have feelings.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like normal people.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I thank you, and I will make that appeal to my listening audience. I will remind persons, that it's so important. And once again, I apologize for how you were treated. And we have to be our brother's keeper. It's so important. If you see someone, people, if you see someone that's in the food store and it appears that they're moving a little bit slow, it's for a reason. Instead of us being aggressive with that person or insulting that person or taking advantage of that person, take a moment and think about if you were in that same situation.
Because if it happens to you, you can go there, get in an accident or something, and you become disabled. You end up in a wheelchair or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you. I have another text, and you know, it seems as if, and I'm so saddened that on December 3rd we really did not push and make we should make it a big deal. We were supposed to recognize our persons in the disability world, and so this texter is saying, why are persons with disabilities so silent? That's a good question. We had a few disabled persons calling in tonight, but we need to hear more about how you feel. We want more disabled persons having a voice and speaking about their experience out there, because a lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't know what you're experiencing. So maybe if you talk about it a little bit more, we would be able to stand next to you and fight with you for equality, and to be treated with respect and treated as a person. We don't want to disrespect anyone, whether you're disabled or not. So people, please be adhere to your surroundings. And then the texter went on to ask, how come they don't speak up for themselves? What is the Disability Commission doing? Are they asleep? What is the role of the commission? That is a great question. We have a commission in the country. What are they doing? How are they making an appeal on behalf of their disabled persons? There's no fines. There's no parking fines if you are caught parked in a disabled space. How is that? You can't just park anywhere downtown. You go downtown and you're parked in the wrong place. I mean, in 2 seconds, you're being told to move or you will be booked. So, maybe, I know we have a lot of things that are going on, and I know that the police force works very, very, very hard, with all the challenges that we have out there, and, road traffic, fixing the lights and all these different things. But, we want you to listen to what the citizens are saying and what their needs are. And it might seem minute, and it might be down to the bottom of the list, but it's affecting. Every action calls for reaction. So it's affecting persons out there, and it's important that we come up with a solution. So I'm making appeal to those persons who might be responsible for setting fines and laws in regards to the disabled parking spots. If you can, revamp something or take a look at it, and try to put something in place where persons can be punished for not following the rules, and then I'm making an appeal to persons that are part of the Disabled Commission. We're hearing from persons tonight that are making an appeal that's saying that they are not treated properly, that in society they're not being respected. And we want to educate the public as to ways that we can assist those individuals. How we don't need to educate on how to show love. That should be a natural thing for us. So, it's important that we take care of one another. That's so important. While we and I don't mean to go back, but I want to talk about. I think I have some more footage, some more audio. I'm sorry, in regards to the 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 Black Friday and the audio that I have gotten in regards to talking to individuals on the street. So I know we only have 10 minutes left in the show, but before we go, I want to play some more of this audio so that you can hear some of the further concerns that persons have. We have people talking about why they registered to vote, why shopping is, why they shop at home, don't shop at home. So there's an array of subjects that we spoke about. So if you see the Dead Late Night Show on the street and we're asking you questions, and you're afraid to call in or what's up, talk to me and let me know your concern. Let's just listen to some more audio that we have. Hi, I'm Lana Epstein from the Dan Late Night Show, and I am asking the average person out there, what are their thoughts? It's Christmas season now, and I know that we all are preparing for the holidays and whatnot, doing our shopping. There is a saying, and we are trying. I know that business owners out there are trying to encourage Bahamians to shop at home.
When did you record them? Did you record them
on my phone?
To shop at home.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's why I stopped on the other one.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, most of the time it's the same things you buy here. The price you pay for it here. Even though it costs you.
That recorder was one of the first recorders I had as a reporter. Okay. So that over 20 years old. Yeah.
But common things for Christmas.
No.
So you're one of those people that goes out, go to Miami during a particular time of year, and you basically try to get the best deals when you're out there.
I try to. Yes, I try.
Okay, I just want to hear your view on. We just had Black Friday March, which was very historical here in the Bahamas, and we had thousands of people out there marching and talking about their freedom and their rights and equality and et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about what took place 2 Fridays ago?
Well, I mean, it's a good sign of solidarity, right? But what's after that? What do we do? What happens after that match? I mean, I know a lot of people talk with time. And what did they get from it? Until they get some results from these matches, it don't make no sense. Because if the election was held the next day, those same people can put the people right back in power. Until they get, what's happened afterward. Because the match is fine. Sure, that a lot of babies to come together do something on a common ground, but now what do you do after that? That's it.
Do you feel like we do have issues here that need to be addressed? And what are some of those issues?
Yeah, we have a lot of issues here in the Bahamas. And these are not new issues. These have always been here. And I mean, we can always blame the government, right? But do we have we ever really look at the system? It's the system, because we get the same results from the same governments. And maybe we need to start looking at the system, changing the system in the Bahamas. Get away from this Westminster system. Because it wasn't for us. This is what we're trying to get away from before 67. But we're still using the same system. So we get the same results.
Wow. So have you registered to vote?
A long time.
Okay, and so what do you say to those persons out there that are saying that they're not going to register to vote?
Well, I always was told that whether you vote or register or not, it is a vote for the government. So if you want to change the government, you got to register to vote. That's my 5 cents on that.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. I appreciate it.
There you have it. There you have it. Another concerned citizen out there. I know it's Christmas time and people are shopping, and so he talked about, his views on that. What are your views on that? Should we shop at home or should we shop abroad? Is it better to shop here or not? And then he talked about the march. It's not, people are not forgetting, the importance of fighting for what they believe in. And that's why I love being a Bahamian. We are prideful. We believe in what we believe in, and we stand by what we believe in. And so, it's just amazing how so many persons have so much to say in terms of how they feel about different things that are going on. So I want you to continue listening some more.
Hi, how are you today? Come closer. Come closer. So I see that you're a very hardworking man.
Yes.
Okay? And so as a young person living in the Bahamas, in our society, what are some of the things you feel like we need to do in order to continuously encourage people like yourself
to, to upgrade themselves and do better in life?
I feel like we should have more events. People go, attend instead of having them idle. Too much people get too much idle time. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta do something with them. We gotta give them something to do, something to drink up, something to do, something. Give them something to do. Everybody just sitting on the blocks and they feel like ain't nothing happening. And they have records and stuff like that, but they ain't trying to get off their record. Their record ain't going nowhere. So you gotta find something for them type of people to do. Because then you get people who come with money or something like that who scared to work. So you gotta find something for them to do, some type of event or some type of something for to get people from being idle. So when they idle, they can just find something pretty positive to do.
So, with saying that, do you think that a country like ours need a national service where it makes a demand for for persons between the age of, let's say, 15 to 25 to make a contribution back to their society?
Yeah, but how would you expect them to contribute back to society in what type of way?
In terms of training them to clean up on the side of the road, giving them pride in where we live, or maybe something whereas they can help foot patrol during large events to keep people safe, like almost like a police national service where you have to go in. Some countries demand that. So do you think something like that would be better for young persons in the Bahamas to create that lack of idleness?
Yeah, I don't want them. You shouldn't make them feel like it's a mandatory thing that they have to do. Because if they make it feel and they make feel that they need to rebel for some reason, understand? So many people ain't gonna be with that. Many people like they don't like the police. So we try to get them to the police. They don't have more maturity to say, well, we ain't doing this today. We ain't working with the police today. So if they have more say over more younger people.
Why do you think some of the younger people don't like the police?
Because of the things they see happening with the people, you see. But I mean, they ain't really have a reason to because those things that happen in like America and stuff. Them type of things normally don't happen up here. You can't feel like they discriminate because everybody normally, most of the people are dark skin color. But most of the time it's just because like people that police like, see I got these beads in my hair, right? I have a job though. But they still pull up on me just because of my beads and rough me up, give me a hard time just because of how I look.
Wow.
And even though I'm walking on the road and I'm doing them, they still pulling me up just because they want to cargo pants, but I just come from work. They still snatch me up, take all my shoes off me and things and start to make me look like a criminal. So I ain't doing that. They're trying to one order to keep my shirt, my pants, and everything. No matter where I go, I try to keep my shirt and my pants. That's what they would not do. Try and come in and start to do it. Everybody will pass up and on. They look at me like, oh, this boy, you are, they ain't that type of way. Like, when you watch them, they just give me a bad face. So sometimes you want to hear me, then people don't want to release like that.
What do you think about that march that just took place?
The march?
The Black Friday march.
I feel that it was a good turnout, and I think it's making a police.
He's a young kid that work at a gas station.
And support the actual movement. But they need to, get together for even more, on a more occasion, more on different occasions. Because you can't do it one day or twice a year, I mean, kids might soon come. But you still got to show them that we are one person. You understand? You can't just come together sometimes. I mean, they have more almost like a jungle. It's almost a jungle. They can't do it for like one reason or, show them make your voice heard. Because all these people come together for these a bunch of reasons at one time. But if you come together for one reason, and one reason, make it like one main reason, then maybe you get your point across quicker. You understand? You can't come for all type of reasons. Then that's just that's a mix up. So if you come for one reason and stand together, you can come different times, but more times is a good thing.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. There you have it. This young man, young, I don't even think he was more than 18, 19 years old. And he spoke very intelligently on his views in terms of, how he's treated. When he's walking down the street, he makes an effort to tuck his shirt in his pants and be as respectful as possible. So, I want to make an appeal again to my fellow brothers and sisters out there. Let's be our brother's keeper. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to know what you're thinking. The things that are going on, is it true or not? Is it a concern? How can we educate and motivate So I want to thank you all for tuning in. We are at the end of our show. I'm making an appeal to my fellow Bahamians to please register to vote. If you don't vote, you really don't have a voice. This Friday, during our Friday night show, the personnel from the parliamentary office will be here to register you to vote. Their mission statement is to afford every eligible Bahamian the opportunity to be registered and to vote in a free and fair election. I want to thank my sponsors before I leave, and that would be CNC Locksmithing, Beauty Zone, and Executive Printers of the Bahamas. Before I leave you also, I want to leave you with this quote. Start by doing what's necessary. Then you do what's possible. And suddenly you are doing the impossible. Tune in to tomorrow night's show, the Dead Late Night Show on ZSR 103.5 Sports and Talk Radio, for another exciting show at 7 p.m. Good night and Godspeed.
In the town. Hey, Ron, in the town.
We pulled it out, Van.
In the town.
Sorry, I didn't do it.
In the town.
Oh, yeah, man.
We pulled that off.
Yeah, in the town.
Holy moly.
Well, now you know the telephone man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew that once we started having those people audio,
Yeah.